Hey there everyone, welcome back. My name is Dave, and today we are going to review the Catacombs of Karak. Let's do it. Now, as a disclaimer, this is a review copy from Outset Games. Thank you so very much for your support. And this is a dungeon crawler. You're laying tiles and you're slowly discovering the dungeon as you go. It is a lighter kind of dungeon crawler game. I will say though, the production is anything but light. It is actually quite tasty in my opinion. The art may be generic though, it's done really well. There are multiple heroes that you can choose from. Each one has a special power that you can use during your turn, but it's a basic game. So first let me show you what comes in the box, then I'll show you the basic play, and we'll go from there. Let's go. Okay, so this is what comes in the box, and the production is pretty nice actually. My favorite thing, I gotta tell you, I love this. Can you see it? Yeah, these are kind of cut out squares. It's double layered, so when you have everything in here, it's not moving around. That is one of my favorite things ever. I wish every board game company would do that. So this is getting points just based on that. And all the cardboard components have a thick and nice linen finish, so you can feel it. The texture is great. The art is fair. It's not terrible, but it's not blowing me away. What else do we have? I think it's just all cardboard, to be honest with you, other than the drawing bag here. Oh, and the dice. Yeah, they're just basic dice. Not anything crazy. Pretty good production. I'm impressed. Now let me show you how to play this game. Alright, so this is the game setup. I'm just going to have one of the players, but know that each of these characters have a special ability. I did point out each of them have a front and a back to their little standee. Nice detail, I'm telling you. The production of this game is quite surprising, and the good surprising. Now, like I said, each one has a special attack ability that they can use. Double attack, he can basically attack twice. Once if he fails, he can roll again. And reincarnation, you do not fall unconscious. Instead, you teleport to a healing fountain. So we'll get into what those actually mean. Just know there is asymmetrical powers. And now on your turn, it's quite simple. You move up to 4 times, and then you possibly do an action. And what that means is, if you ever stop in a room that has an enemy in it, then you will fight the enemy. Or if there's a chest in a room somewhere, then you can use your key to unlock it, and that will end your turn. So if you go into a monster on your first turn, then you only move that one time, because once you do the action, your turn ends. So you can kind of strategize on moving where you want to move before you move into a known room. But before that happens, you got to move into undiscovered rooms and draw a tile. Now the squares, that means it's a room. So the difference, as you can see, a room is a square and the hallways are just straight lines. When you go into a room, that's when you draw from the bag. This is where you're going to get equipment, scrolls, and possibly dragons and enemies. Now if you draw an enemy, you put them in here, and this is the strength. So 7 up top, and you have to roll that with the 2 dice here. If you beat it, then you will move into the room, flip it over, and then take it if you want. If you're full up, then you will have to leave one of your goods there to trade it out. But I just tied it in this occasion, which means I would get pushed back, but I wouldn't lose a health point. If I were to get 6, I would have got pushed back and lost a health point. When I lose all of my health points, I go unconscious, and then I lose a complete turn, and then I would flip over one of my health points and then continue with the game. Now if you were to move into a hallway, you wouldn't do anything. You would just continue to move if you want. Now there are different enemies. When you beat them, they do different things other than give you the flip side. When you beat a mummy, you get the curse token. This will be played on another opponent, and they can no longer use their abilities. Now that you know a little bit more, let's go into her abilities. You may re-roll 1 die in combat. You can force your way past a monster you lose a health point, but you continue your turn. That's pretty interesting. So there's some things that break the rules, but those are the basics that I just explained. Now the main goal is to get the most treasure. So when a treasure chest pops up in a room, you have to use a key that you would possibly get off an enemy. This would have been a skeleton, to open it. And again, that would use your turn, but you would open it up, put it next to you, and you have one treasure. Now, the other monster that is different from everybody else that actually has an action when you beat him is the dragon. He just basically gives you 1.5. This is 1.5, and it can break ties, and it ends the game when you beat the dragon. But he's a whopping 15, so you're going to need some equipment to beat him. As you can see, there's numbers up here. When you get equipment, you can add these points to your roll, and this is these scrolls. This is corresponding to a health fountain point, which is the starting one, and you would there are other ones in the bag, but you would teleport to here when you use this and heal all the way up. Or you can use this scroll to add 1 point onto your roll. But there's no limit to what you want to play, but you can only hold 2 weapons, 1 keys, and 3 scrolls. So you can play everything at once if you're able to. And for the dragon, you just might need to. Now there's another tile that are teleports. So if you were to run into them, you can choose to use 1 move to move to the teleport that you want that's on there. So you don't have to move to that one, you can go to another one. But again, you have 4 moves until you move on to something like a room that has a monster or open a treasure chest, and then that ends your turn. And that's essentially it. Like I said, you continue to go through this dungeon until you beat the dragon, and then once you do that, you evaluate whoever has the most treasure, and whoever does is the winner. And that's the basics. Now let me tell you what I think about this game and give it a grade. Let's go. That is how you play the Catacombs of Karak. So I want to go ahead and give this game a grade. It gets a 72 from me, which is a decent grade. I'm going to recommend it for people who are getting into the hobby, or people who are already in the hobby and want to be able to teach people who don't play board games or fantasy type games to like their mom and dad, or to kids, I think from the range 13 all the way down to possibly even 7. So in that range group, it's going to be a great teaching tool for that. It's great for like teaching a tile laying game. A lot of these tiles are easy to understand. The visceral feel of them is so nice, and the iconography is easy and straight to the point. And the asymmetric powers are interesting. They're not something that is going to make the game incredibly replayable, maybe once or twice a year for me. But again, if I have somebody who hasn't played board games much and who likes like Lord of the Rings or something, I would probably bust this out and show them like, oh, look at this kind of modern game. And it does have a fantasy feel, though it is lacking on the dwarf front. And it is light. The theme though is good. I like how the theme and the production, I probably have ranted and raved about the production, but they really went all out for that. And that's, I think, the main reason why I would go to this game as a teaching tool for new gamers to like fantasy and tile laying, because of the production. It's so neat. And if somebody were to play this game as a first time, they may go to other games and be like, why aren't my trays here holding the my counters? What's up with this? So they will have an experience that is going to be an upscale when it comes to production, and they won't be intimidated. Like if you were to play Vast, for example, I just got done reviewing Vast. That is a crazy big dungeon crawl with way more asymmetric powers. That would be something that you would build up to, and this would be one of the games that would be a step to take to get there. It's perfect in that line. So I'm recommending that for those type of crowds. The gamer type person like plays D&D or plays hardcore dungeon crawls, and that's all they want to play, well, they might pass on this. You might get bored after a bit, but I had fun for the amount of times that I played it, and that's pretty much all I have. Thank you so much, Outside Games, for sending us this review copy. I am very impressed with this production. Keep up the good work, and we do appreciate your support. And Vine Nation, thank you so much for keeping up the good work and being you. Click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Until the next time that I see you, have a great rest of your day and a great time with all you play. If you want to pick this game up, it'll be in the description below. I'm out. Bye. Vine Nation, we love making content here for you on the channel, and we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so subscribe now and help us out. This video right here, I think you'll like. This video right here, YouTube thinks you'll like. Or you can just sit here and watch me dance the dinosaur for a little bit longer. You can visit us at our social media outlets, and we're going to be improving our Patreon here soon. That's all for today. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.